Hey guys, welcome back to Obsessed with Videos, and it's been months since I last did an update, or even a video on this channel in general. There are various reasons why I haven't done an update in a while. First off, I've had a lot of things, I've been quite busy with other stuff. And also, during the summer holidays in August, I had a bit of a sickness bug, and one of the symptoms of that was that I had a bit of a lost voice. My voice was croakier than usual. It took me some time to recover, but by September I had mostly recovered. Shortly afterwards, we decided to go on holiday to Europe. We went to France, which I've been to before. We went to Belgium, which I've never been to before. We went to Luxembourg, which I've never been to before either, and Germany, which I've also never been to before, so that was a nice experience. Although it was a better experience than the holiday I previously had in May, in which I went to Spain again. I don't think I've told you about it, but the holiday just didn't go that well for us, or for me, or for any of us as well, and therefore we had to the holiday back in May had to be cut short. I probably didn't tell you about it. I probably didn't tell any of you about that, but now you know. But anyway, in this update, this is a multimedia update as well. I've got one, but just before I move on, the holiday that I had last month in September went so much better than the one I had in May. The one in May that we had was supposed to be 14 days or 2 weeks, but due to the reasons I mentioned, it was cut short to 10 days. But the one that we had in September was 7 days, and we all managed to do all 7 days. Anyway, now onto the multimedia update. In this update, I've got one DVD, one standard Blu-ray, one 4K Blu-ray, 5 cinema tickets, and 14 film posters in this update. All of those posters are from OWV Cinema. So without further ado, let's get started with the DVD, in which the DVD in this update is Renaissance Man, starring Danny DeVito. There's only one man big enough to take on them. This is a Pathé release. The film's from 1994, but the DVD is from 2003. Distributed by 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment, and this is also a Synergy film. It was originally released by Guild in the United Kingdom, but it was released by Disney through Touchstone in the US. And the opening to this DVD goes like this. The Pathé logo comes first, and then the DVD menu, and then the 1993 Guild logo, surprisingly, and then the Synergy logo. And that's how the opening goes. There's the disc itself, and there's also an advert for other Fox and Pathé DVDs from the time. And now onto the Blu-ray, the standard Blu-ray, which is Bridge of Spies, starring Tom Hanks and Mark Rylance, and directed by Steven Spielberg. I used to have this film on DVD back in September 2017, but now I've got it on Blu-ray. It's a release from 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment again. This time the film itself is from 2015, but the Blu-ray release is from 2016. And there's the Blu-ray disc itself. And now onto the 4K Blu-ray that I've got in this update. Now, back at the end of June, I bought Avatar: The Way of Water on 4K. But now, I've got the first one on 4K. This is a release from Disney through 20th Century Studios and Lightstorm Entertainment. The film's from 2009, but this is the 4K Blu-ray release from July of this year, I think it came out. Also, and the remastered Blu-ray came out on that same day as well. And I think just recently they've released the remastered DVD of it, like Disney released it, and now Disney also has a deal with Elevation Sales, as it seems, the company that's also known for distributing Lionsgate, Studio Canal, Signature Entertainment, and Paramount releases. And even now they're doing Sony Pictures releases. And there's the discs themselves. And that's it for the physical media formats in this update. Now on to the 5 cinema tickets, which are all from Cineworld in Castleford. And the first one is Gran Turismo, the film that recently came out based on the video game of the same name for the PlayStation consoles. The film was released by Sony Pictures under the Columbia Pictures label, as well as PlayStation Productions. And this is also the third film I've seen from Sony at the cinema this year, after 65, which I saw back in March, and No Hard Feelings, which I saw back in July. Anyway, the film was rated 12A. I saw it at Cineworld in Castleford on September 8th, 2023 at 1:10 p.m. And I was in screen 11 and I was in row J and seat 8. Next one is Strays, which is honestly the funniest film I've seen this year. Another laugh out loud film for me. Probably the funniest film I've seen at the cinema since Jackass Forever in February 2022. Which means that I've seen that 2 years in a row I've seen a film that I thought was really funny. Although I'm not sure if there will be a film as funny as this in 2024. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, Strays was released by Universal Pictures, Lord and Miller Productions, the production company that belongs to Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who were the producers of this film, as well as Picture Start. I think this is the 5th film I've seen from Universal at the cinema this year, after Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, the Super Mario Brothers movie, and Book Club: The Next Chapter. Anyway, this film's rated 15. I saw it at Cineworld in Castleford on September 12, 2023 at 3 p.m. And I was in screen 5 and I was in row E and seat 14. And this was the last film I saw before I went on that short holiday, because that short European holiday that I was talking about at the start of the video, I was on holiday from, I think, September 15th to September 23rd. So just a bit over a week. Now onto the cinema tickets that I got after the holiday. And the third cinema ticket overall in this update is My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, which is another film that's distributed by Universal, but this time it's co-produced by Focus Features, as well as Gold Circle Entertainment and Playtone, and also Artistic Films. And this is the 6th film I've seen from Universal during this year, after all the previous 5 films that I mentioned, which I'll repeat again: Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Book Club 2, and Strays. And now My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. This means that I think that with Universal, they're the studio I've seen the most films from so far this year at the cinema. Anyway, this film is rated 12A. I saw it at Cineworld in Castleford on September 28th, 2023 at 2 p.m. and I was in screen 1 and I was in row G and seat 6. And the next cinema ticket that I've got is for Barbie. Yes, the biggest film of the year, the highest grossing film of the year, as well as the highest grossing Warner Brothers Pictures film of all time, beating out the previous record holder of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which was released back in 2011. And with Barbie being released in 2023, it was also released the same year that Warner Brothers is celebrating their 100th anniversary. I guess this is their 100th anniversary present. I guess you could say. And I guess it's the success, and being $1 billion hit, and the first time Warner Brothers has actually had $1 billion hit since 2019's Joker. I think with all the flops that they've had recently, I think they've deserved it, because with lots of their films bombing, like especially the DC films like Black Adam, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and especially The Flash, and I'm not entirely sure how well Blue Beetle performed, but I think there's a good chance that later in the year, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will massively bomb. But a bit lost for words. I'm trying to think. This is also the second $1 billion hit of this year, is Barbie. And Barbie is the second film this year to make $1 billion after the Super Mario Brothers movie, which it managed to beat out at the box office to become the highest grossing film of 2023. And another thing about Barbie is that it was released at the same time as Christopher Nolan's new film, recent film Oppenheimer, thus creating that meme you might know as Barbenheimer back in the middle of July. And I think that meme really helped out with both of those films to become massive successes, because with Oppenheimer, that film managed to not quite make $1 billion, but it managed to make like 900 million, doing extremely well for Christopher Nolan and the distributor of Oppenheimer, which in that case was Universal Pictures. Anyway, back onto Barbie. The companies that made the film, as previously mentioned, is Warner Brothers, but also Mattel Films also did it, because Barbie's a Mattel property, as well as other companies like Heyday Films, Lucky Chap Entertainment, and NBGG Pictures, which I think might be the company that belongs to Greta Gerwig, who's the director of this film. She was also the person that directed Lady Bird back in 2017 and the 2019 version of Little Women. And this film's managed to be an even bigger success than those two other films, because this film has wider appeal. Anyway, this film is rated 12A. I saw it at Cineworld in Castleford on October 3rd, 2023 at 1:20 p.m. and I was in screen 12 and I was in row K and seat 11. And the final cinema ticket of this update, and the most recent film I've got the cinema ticket for, is Rise of the Foot Soldier Vengeance, the 6th installment in the 16-year-old long-running Rise of the Foot Soldier franchise, because the first film came out in 2007, which was released by Optimum Releasing, which is now known as Studio Canal's UK division. And then 8 years later, we got the second film, which was released through Signature Entertainment, who would also distribute the third film in 2017, the fourth film in 2019, and the fifth film in 2021, and now the sixth film in 2023. This also means that this is the first ever film I've seen from Signature Entertainment at the cinema. A title which I was originally going to give to the A24 film The Inspection, which came out earlier this year, but I didn't really get around to seeing that. But luckily I managed to get around to seeing this film. Now, talking about the production companies that created this film, obviously we had Signature Entertainment, but we also had other companies like Carnaby International, Haymarket Films, and Lip Sync Productions. At least those are the ones that I can remember. Anyway, this film is rated 18, making it the second 18-rated film that I've ever seen at the cinema after Jackass Forever back in February 2022. Anyway, I saw this film at Cineworld in Castleford on October 5th, 2023 at 1:10 p.m. and I was in screen 6 and I was in row H and seat 16. And that concludes the cinema tickets of this update. Now on to the OWV Cinema film posters. in which the first one is Love Again, which was rated 12A. The film was originally released in 2023. Its UK theatrical release date was May 10th, 2023. And the UK theatrical distributor for the film was Sony Pictures Releasing International. As you can see, their logo there. The film was also released by Sony Entertainment, Screen Gems Pictures, and Thunder Road Films. And the next one is Top Gun, the first film, the first Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis. The film was originally released in 1986. Its UK theatrical release date was October 3rd, 1986, and its UK theatrical distributor was United International Pictures, the former UK distributor for films from Universal Pictures, Paramount Pictures, MGM, United Artists, and later DreamWorks Pictures. As you can see, the logo for United International Pictures there, and also the logo for Paramount Pictures, since they were the ones that distributed the film and produced the film. And the film's also rated 15 as well. Not to mention, or it was on its initial theatrical release in 1986. And now for another poster that I previously did on Wilfred Cinema, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, in which I originally did the poster for this on Wilfred Cinema in July 2018, 5 months before its release in December of that year. Anyway, the film was rated PG. Its original release year was 2018, as I just mentioned. Its UK theatrical release date was December 12th, 2018, and its UK theatrical distributor was Sony Pictures Releasing International. And you can see their logo there, as well as the logos for Columbia Pictures, Sony Entertainment, Marvel Entertainment, Sony Pictures Animation, and Pascal Pictures, which is the production company of Amy Pascal, one of the former people who worked at Sony Pictures Entertainment. Speaking of Spider-Verse, I also did the poster for its sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which again is rated PG. This one's original release year was 2023, this year. Its UK theatrical release date was June 2nd, 2023, and its UK theatrical distributor was Sony Pictures Releasing International, again. And you can see their logo there alongside Columbia Pictures, Sony Entertainment, Marvel Entertainment, Sony Pictures Animation, and Pascal Pictures. And the next poster is for the 2023 live-action remake of Disney's The Little Mermaid. I actually saw this film at the cinema back in July. I thought it was quite good as well. The film was rated PG. Its original release year was 2023. Its UK theatrical release date was May 26, 2023, and its UK theatrical distributor was Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, where it was released under their Walt Disney Pictures label. And you can also see that I put the Disney 100 logo there, the on-screen version. Looks pretty good. I thought the on-screen version of the logo looks pretty good, and I really enjoyed seeing it on the big screen in front of films like The Little Mermaid remake and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And I'm looking forward to seeing this new Disney logo in front of some other films that come out, even beyond their 100th anniversary, because I think they're going to keep using this logo throughout the next few years, like in 2024, 2025, 2026, and so on. But in terms of the films that come out in 2024 onwards, they're probably going to take out the 100 in their logo and just keep it as Disney. And the next poster I've done is Surf's Up, a major ocean picture. The film was rated PG. Its original release year was in 2007. Its UK theatrical release date was August 10th, 2007, and it was released. Its UK theatrical distributor was Sony Pictures Releasing International. And you can see their logo there alongside Columbia Pictures and also Sony Pictures Animation. This was also one of the first films that Sony Pictures Animation did. I think it was their second film that they did ever, because the first one they did was Open Season back in 2006. The next poster is The Mitchells vs. the Machines, another film from Sony Pictures Animation. From the humans that brought you Spider-Man not Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the Lego Movie. In which this case it was the producers of this film, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. And this film has a bit of an interesting history behind it because it was originally scheduled for a theatrical release in 2020 by Sony Pictures under the name of Connected, but it ended up getting delayed due to COVID, to the obvious reason of COVID, until in early 2021 Netflix bought the rights to this film and renamed it to The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which was I think it was the name they gave it to before they called it Connected. So they kind of reverted it to this title, which I think kind of sounds better than Connected in a way. Because with Connected, it's a more simplistic title, but Mitchells vs. the Machines was kind of a more complicated title. But I think with Netflix, they allowed Sony and all the people working on this film to go ahead with it. And this was one of the many films that during the pandemic that Sony Animation had to send to streaming, because they sent this to streaming, but they also sent Wish Dragon and Vivo to Netflix as well. And they sent the fourth Hotel Transylvania film, which is Hotel Transylvania Transformania, to Amazon Prime Video. All of which due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Anyway, The Mitchells vs. the Machines was rated U. Its original release year was 2021. Its UK streaming release date was April 30th, 2021, because this is a film that was released on streaming. And its distributor was, as previously mentioned, Netflix. And you can see their logo there alongside Sony's and Columbia Pictures and Sony Pictures Animation. The next one is Big George Foreman, the miraculous story of the once and future heavyweight champion of the world. This film was rated 12A. Its original release year was 2023. Its UK theatrical release date was April 28th, 2023. And its UK theatrical distributor was Sony Pictures Releasing International. So another Sony poster in this update, but not one that's from Sony Pictures Animation. Moving away from Sony Pictures Animation, this film was released by Sony Pictures Releasing International, Affirm Films, Sony Entertainment and Mandalay Pictures. Next one is My Sailor, My Love, which is rated 12A. Its original release year was 2022. Its UK theatrical release date was March 10th, 2023. And its UK theatrical distributor was Signature Entertainment. And you can see their logo down there alongside the logo for Global Screen, a Telepool brand. And the next one is The Inspection, which is rated 15. Its original release year was 2022. Its UK theatrical release date was February 17th, 2023, and its UK theatrical distributor was Signature Entertainment. I already mentioned this film when I was showing the cinema ticket for Rise of the Foot Soldier Vengeance. And you can see the logo down there for Signature Entertainment and also A24 Films and Game Changer Films. Next one is The Enforcer, starring Antonio Banderas and Kate Bosworth. Not all guardians are angels. This film was rated 18. Its original release year was 2022. Its UK theatrical release date was January 6, 2023, and its UK theatrical distributor was Vertigo Releasing. You can see their logo down there, as well as the logo for Millennium Media. Next one is Missing, which is the sequel to the 2018 film Searching. And I think the people who worked on this also worked on the 2020 film Run, although I'm not entirely sure if this film is a follow-up or in the same franchise. I'm not sure if Run is in the same franchise or is anyway more related to Missing and Searching. Anyway, this film was rated 15. Its original release year was 2023. Its UK theatrical release date was April 21st, 2023. Sorry about that. And its UK theatrical distributor was Sony Pictures Releasing International. As I mentioned, this film was rated 15. And you can also see the logo for Sony Pictures Releasing International over there, as well as the logos for Stage 6 Films, Sony Entertainment, Screen Gems Pictures, Search Party Productions, Basilev's Productions, and TSG Entertainment 2. In which TSG have now been co-financing some of Sony Pictures' films. They were most known for also co-financing some of the films made by 20th Century Fox and Fox Searchlight, now respectively known as 20th Century Studios and Searchlight under Disney. And I think TSG is still co-financing some of the films there, but I think they've also started financing some films from Sony Pictures as well. And the final poster in this update is Polite Society, a film by Nida Manzoor. I think that's how you pronounce it. Big Trouble, Little Sister. This film was rated 12A. Its original release year was 2023. Its UK theatrical release date was April 28th, 2023. And its UK theatrical distributor was Universal Pictures. And you can see their logo there alongside Focus Features and Working Title Films. Man, that was a big update to do. And that concludes this update. And as for the next update, I'm not sure when that'll be yet, but thanks for watching. That's it for this update, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. See you later.